How's it going everyone, this is Tom with Jailbreak Nation. Today I'm here with a comparison between the Nexus 7 and the iPad mini. Due to the Nexus 7 being the iPad mini's biggest competitors and vice versa, I thought it would be fit to compare them. First of all, we have to talk about the design, and there's absolutely no contest here. The build of the iPad mini is significantly higher than the Nexus 7 due to the fact that the Nexus 7 was built to a budget. The Nexus 7 uses mainly plastic and glass, whereas the iPad mini uses glass and anodized aluminium, which stands head and shoulders above the Nexus 7. The size difference is also notable. With the 7-inch screen of the Nexus 7, it makes it significantly easier to handle in one hand, and much more comfortable too. The extra 0.9 of an inch included on Apple's tablet really does make it a little bit more difficult to use one-handed, however it is still very much possible. Next we'll talk about the displays. The iPad mini, as you can see right now, has a display of 1024 by 1768, and that gives it a pixels per inch of 163. The Google Nexus 7 on the other hand has a 1280 by 800 resolution, giving it a 216 ppi, and the difference actually is quite noticeable. The black levels are all excellent on the iPad mini and the saturation and things like that, but the resolution is significantly better on the Nexus 7 as it does notice. Next we'll do some real world usage performance. As you can see, I've got a game here. This is Jetpack Joyride, and please excuse my terrible multitasking gaming skills. It's much more difficult than it looks. But as you can see, both games and both tablets are running perfectly smoothly, and to be honest, I have a problem with speed tests and things like this of this nature, because once it gets to this point, both run perfectly well, both are perfectly quick, so the extra 0.5 of a second or a tiny little bit of lag is not really an issue when they both run so well, and on the whole their performance for both tablets is pretty much flawless. Let's just test the browsers and the internet speeds here. So we're just going to go ahead and load up the Verge. They're both in private browsing at the moment, and the reason the Nexus has got some site suggestions is because it's picking up my Chrome sync. But as you can see, if we'll just click go there, and pretty much the first thing that will hit you is the amount of content, or the amount of more content that you get on the iPad mini as opposed to the Nexus, and it's just huge. You don't even need to zoom on the iPad mini, yet on the Nexus it's really tiny, and you'll need to kind of zoom in to even see individual words. And then the iPad mini was actually a little bit quicker there, but again it's nothing to write home about. We're also going to go ahead and test Jailbreak Nation, and as you can see the Nexus got it lightning quickly, but that's actually because it picked up the mobile site of Jailbreak Nation, and the iPad mini didn't. Maybe that's something to do with the screen size, I'm not 100%, but that's just something to bear in mind. Well, there you have it. There's a relatively in-depth comparison between the Nexus 7 and the iPad mini, notably two of the headline 7-inch tablets out on the market. In my honest opinion, I prefer the iPad mini, but that's purely because I'm an iOS fan at heart. If you like Android, I'd go with the Nexus, and if you're interested in a truly premium product, which is likely going to last a bit more and have better build quality, I'd pay the extra $129 and go with the iPad mini.